Hello and welcome to the Graphics channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an offline banner for your Twitch channel. So I don't actually have a Twitch channel, or I do but I don't use it very often. My friend Waddy has a good channel, you should check it out sometime if you get some free time. So today we're going to actually be creating an offline banner for him, but I thought I'll show you guys how to do it whilst I do that. Kill two birds with one stone. So first things first, go to File, New. Set the width to 1920 and the height to 1080. So that will give you a 1080p resolution image that will work nicely on big screens and smaller screens and still look decent either way. So first things first, let's create a new layer down at the bottom in the layer panel. I'm going to click our paint bucket tool and I'm going to fill it with black. I always like to start with a black background if possible, and then I'm going to grab my background layer which I downloaded earlier. So I'm going to click File, go to Place, and I'm going to choose this grunge wall that I downloaded off of Google Images. I'm just going to place that in. So with the Move tool selected, I'm going to hit Enter to place on that, and I'm going to click and drag the corner holding Shift the whole time. I'm going to do it again the other way. And there we go. So I'm just going to apply that. Now we've got this quite grungy looking image in the background. Just going to move it around a little bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do with that image is way too bright for what I'm going to actually need. So I'm going to right click on the layer, click Rasterize Layer, and now I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. So I'm going to drop this saturation all the way to the bottom, so it's taken all the colour out of the image. And I'm going to grab this lightness thing here and just change it to a lot darker. And there we go. So I'm going to go with that, maybe just a touch more, and click OK. So now my grunge background is there, but it's quite dark now in the background. So when I pop the logo on top in a moment, it's going to make that pop out a little bit more. So File, Place, I'm going to grab the Waddy logo from up here, click Place, I'm going to press Enter on my keyboard to place that image, and now I need to remove this white from this background. Now you can sometimes just click the layer option here and choose screen and it will get rid of some of that, but in this scenario it hasn't. So what we need to do is click the magic wand tool, and I can click and make a selection, but you see how it sort of crept into that line. If I hit delete now, let me change that to, I need to rasterize the layer first. But if I delete that now, you can see that it's deleted some of the image and it looks a bit weird. So I'm going to Control Z or Control Alt Z and then Control D to deselect that. So we're back to our original image, and I'm going to use this polygonal lasso tool here. If you right click on the third one down, you get these three options. It's the middle one that we want. So I'm literally just going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to click right at the top of that grey line. There we go. I'm just going to move that down just so that the line is parallel, and I'm going to click around it, double click, and it finishes my selection. So you can move this selection around if you like to make sure that you've got all the image. When you're happy, Control D and it deselects, and now we're left with this quite straight edge. So you see how I have a tiny bit of white there. I don't want that, so I'm going to hit Control Z to bring my selection back. I'm just going to press down on my keyboard and then right on my keyboard and then press delete again, and now we've got that clean edge without the white. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. Click that, chop that off, double click to finish my selection, and then press delete on my keyboard. Control D to check it again. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to do the same again over on this side. Now this is always a good tool to use if you're actually cutting any image out of a white background. Polygonal's pretty decent. You can just click around the image. You can use the pen tool, but this is the other tool that a lot of people like to use, and that's whether you're cutting a face out or a car or any sort of object from any background really. It's just because this one allows you to get quite precise. There we go. Delete. I missed a little bit there, you see, so I'm just going to do what I did before. Control Z to bring my selection back. Click right once and then click D. There we go. Now I just need to do the same here. And click delete again. And now I can zoom back out. There we go. So I'm just going to grab that logo. I'm just going to move it to the side here. Hit Control A on my keyboard with that layer selected, and then you see this one here, align vertical centers. I'm going to click on that, and it just moves that perfectly within the top and the bottom of the image. So I hit Control D to deselect that layer, and then click my text tool. We need to add some text on here just to let people know that this stream is offline. So click here, this stream is currently offline. Oh, can't spell. Offline. So I'm going to grab this offline here. I'm actually going to make that a lot larger than the rest of it. So I'm going to keep going until I'm happy. I'm going to try and make it the full width of that sentence. Approximately. That'll do. And I'm going to use this character tool up here just to space out my text to how I want it. There we go. So I'm going to use my move tool to click around so that I get my guides. So you can see now that that is lined up nicely with that. And I'm going to grab my text tool again, and I'm going to select this. Actually, let's select the shorter text from above. So this stream is currently, I've selected that now. I'm going to use this little paint dropper tool here to use this grey. I'll select this grey. And as it looks a little bit darker over here because there's not as much, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit, just make it a little bit lighter so it matches this over here when we're following the theme. Click OK. Done. So now I need to tell people where his social media is, so as he's offline they might be able to catch him on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or something, go watch some past content. So you can find me at Control A to select it again. I'm going to nick this grey here that we chose already. Press enter. I'm going to go with, I'll grab his things from here so I can see what's what. So Control V to paste that in. I'm going to select all that and make it white. So again we're following that theme. So now we've got YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. So I'm going to delete that because I think we should add some social media icons instead. I think they'll look a little bit nicer. I'm just going to move that over a touch. And now we need to grab our social media icons. So place, and I've got these three in here, so Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. So I'll just do those. Press enter to place it. File place. Which one did I do? Twitter. So YouTube. Enter. That is now placed. And the last one, Instagram. Enter. There you go. So I'm just going to check the orders that they were. So YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Obviously, you're probably going to be more familiar with your own YouTube and Twitter channel, so you'll know which one's what. I'll select my YouTube one. So YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. There we go. So as you can see, there's not really a whole lot of room there, but we've got plenty of room on the page. So I'm going to click on each one and just press enter just one more time so we can see how that looks. I think that's a little bit too far. So I'm just going to on this one here. I'm just going to reduce that size a little bit. Press enter there just to bring that away from the title. Reduce the size a little bit more. And there we go, I'm happy with that now. So YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. So I've ordered my layers to match how they are on the screen. I'm going to select my move tool. I've got Instagram selected there. Select the Twitter one, move that down. And YouTube, move that down. So I don't actually like those circles anyway, so I'm going to get rid of those now. So I'm going to use my little wand tool. I'm going to select the YouTube layer and just click the little circle. Oh, it won't let me do it because I haven't rasterized, so right click, rasterize the layer. You can do that on each one. There we go. So now select my YouTube, magic wand, press delete on the keyboard, so it's deleted everything but the button. I'm going to Control D to deselect that. Make sure the Twitter layer's selected this time. Click that, delete again. Control D to deselect. Instagram, click the background, D on the keyboard, Control D to deselect. So click the move tool, select the layer, and now I'm going to just move it around so that it lines up nicely with the text and the text above. And there we go. So now we've added this here, it actually looks a bit weird. So what I'm going to do is actually delete the "you can find me at." So I think that's fairly obvious, and I think we'll just leave it like that. I think it looks a bit better. It looks a bit more clean. So with all those selected there, I'm just going to hit Control G on my keyboard. So now I can move all of them around together, just so we can get this perfect spacing. And the same with this stream is currently offline. I'm going to bring that down. Everything's selected now. I'll line that up nicely. As we've got a bit more space, I'm going to click my Waddy logo and move that along so that it matches the other side. Hit Control A again just to make sure that I've got vertical centers. I'm going to click that. Control D. So we're actually nearly done now. Nearly done. It just needs one final little touch, which I like to do with these kind of images. So obviously we've gone very grungy. It's got a bit of grunge on the logo. So again, I'm going to add another layer of grunge over the top, but just bring the opacity right down. So I'm going to click File, Place, and use this one here this time, which I also downloaded from Google. I'm going to resize that again so it covers the whole image. Move it until I'm happy and click Place. I'm going to move that right to the top so that it's above everything. I'm going to drop the opacity until I'm happy. And now I'm going to click my eraser tool here. I'm going to set it to nice and large. There's a right click on that, click rasterize. So I've got my eraser, it's quite big now. Make sure the opacity is right down. So I'm going to drop mine to about 12. I'm just going to start clicking around the logo. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, so don't start spending hours drawing this out. We just want to erase this top layer away from our key points. So go over that just to make that pop out a little bit. We'll focus here more on the writing than the social media icons. And there we go. So just a few minutes, we've created this pretty decent stream offline. Now, it doesn't have to be amazing, because let's face it, someone goes to your stream, they're trying to watch your stream, they don't really care about what your banner image looks like. However, it's still nice to have something that looks cool, keeps with your brand, and it lets people know that you're offline, and how else to find you. In fact, I'm going to add one last thing. I've just noticed something that I meant to do earlier, but I completely forgot. So we had everything on our group already. I'm going to open up that group. I want to add a little drop shadow on each of the icons. So there we go. I'm just going to use the default setting. I'm going to copy that layer style by right clicking on it and just selecting all the others. So click on one and then click shift on the bottom one. I'm going to do that one as well. Screw it, we'll do the logo as well. Right click, paste layer style. So now everything has a little drop shadow. It just gives it a little something. You might not even notice unless you really stare at it, but I think that's the last finishing touch. So there we go. So I'll send that to him later, and he'll pop that up on his stream. Hopefully he'll leave a comment, and I'll put his link in the description below so you can check that out when he's offline. And there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. I made this video on a request, and as I say, let me know what you want to have next in a tutorial like this. Drop it in the comments below and I'll get that to you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.